that's who I want to see him get his opportunity at right back in the Gold Cup. So I'm so hyped about this kid. I think he has tremendous potential. Let Dest get his rest, but also next man up. It's another opportunity for a player like Freeman, who's going to, I think, really grow a lot from this experience.
Got some big news, and Mauricio Pochettino names a 26-man Gold Cup roster. Okay, I'm just going to roll through it, and then we can kind of discuss who is not there first. Okay, so you got Chris Brady, Matt Freese, Matt Turner. They're going to be the goalkeepers. Max Arfston, Alex Freeman, Nathan Harriel, Mark McKenzie, Tim Ream, Chris Richards, Miles Robinson. John Tolkien joins the crew. Walker Zimmerman is also in this one. You might see that we're missing a player named Sergiño Dest. We'll get into that in a second. Midfielders, Brendan Aronson, Tyler Adams, Sebastian Berhalter, Johnny Cardoso, who's being linked to Atletico Madrid. Well, okay, Johnny. Luca De La Torre, Diego Luna, Jack McGlynn, Quinn Sullivan, Malik Tillman. Up top, or at least in the front line, we have Paxton Aronson, which I think Brendan should be there, and Paxton should be a midfielder. Patrick Ajimong, Damian Downs, Brian White, and Haji Wright. So that's the roster for the Gold Cup. The big news, and Chuck, I'm going to come to you on this, is that Sergiño Dest is out. Hold on. Before I come to you, Mauricio Pochettino had a quote, and he said this: "We determined the best decision is for Dest to have an individualized training program for the summer so he can focus on being fully recovered and ready to perform next season." Okay, all that context, what are your thoughts?
My initial thoughts would be, I'm sure there are a few members of the U.S. Women's National Team that would have liked the opportunity to play in these friendlies ahead of the Gold Cup, and then get that same individualized training packet that Sergiño Dest will have ahead of next season.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think to read between the lines, everybody, could they not have done that for one Christian Pulisic? And I'm looking right now straight at our AC Milan resident superfan, Tony Meola. What do you say?
Could they have? Yeah, I suppose they could have. I'm a little bit surprised that my impression or my understanding of this whole thing was that you needed to be part of the entire summer. And again, everyone's personal circumstances, whether it's injury, whether it's, something personal that you got to deal with, are different, right? So this goes against kind of what we had been told behind the scenes, and that's, I suppose that's just the way it goes. I don't know, did you learn from one instance where you're like, man, that's a lot of heat on a player for asking to maybe sit out 2 exhibitions or the Gold Cup, whichever one it was? Do we do it differently this time when a player needs a little bit of rest and we come out with a statement? I don't know. I go back to, I'd love to see all these guys together. I think it's unrealistic at times to think that they all will be together. And maybe this is going to prepare us for the World Cup, because we can all put our 23-man roster down, and we have to do it with the assumption that some of those guys aren't going to be there for different reasons. But yeah, again, we've been focusing on this tournament the last couple of days, and when I saw this come across my feed, Jimmy, I was a little bit surprised.
Yeah,
Jimmy, I just want to add, in saying that, right, we get to see Sergiño Dest, his first time with Mauricio Pochettino.
In the friendlies.
The first time,
so he's still
right?
part of the friendlies. Yeah. We should have made that clear, right?
Yeah, he's still part of the friendlies. And I think it's great just to have that first meeting, that the exchange, the expectations conversation, the demands conversation, the commitment conversation, right? And then go on for your break. Yes, it's an individualized training, but it's really a mental, physical break, to say the least, so that he's ready to go for a full preseason with PSV. But what I will say about that is I'm happy. I see in the chat, Clads, next man up. Yes, let Freeman run. That's who I want to see him get his opportunity at right back in the Gold Cup. So I'm so hyped about this kid. I think he has tremendous potential. Let Dest get his rest, but also next man up. It's another opportunity for a player like Freeman, who's going to, I think, really grow a lot from this experience.
Okay. No, and I love that. One door closes for somebody, another one opens for somebody else, and all of us have benefited from that in some point in our careers. Now let's talk about another player that's going to be missing out, though. Big Tones, this is directed right in your area of expertise. Zach Steffen Every time we think this guy's going to get his opportunity, he gets hurt or he gets sick. So he's leaving camp with a knee injury. And that leaves us with 3 goalkeepers. They all just got named for the Gold Cup roster. Matt Turner, Matt Freese, or Chris Brady. Who do you think should start against Turkey? Like who's I mean, you can make an argument, maybe not for Chris Brady, but I feel like it's between Matt Turner and Matt Freese. And then Chris Brady's, unless he's training out of his mind.
Well, I don't think Chris Brady gets to start because he's the last guy in the door, right? Like, unless he wows these guys, he clearly wasn't in the picture the first time around. You need to bring somebody in. So, and I still think for him, there's just a lot of growing to do in this game. Matt Turner obviously has the experience, but maybe no experience over the last year. 4 games in total for Nottingham Forest this year.
Crazy.
Matt Freese is the guy that's been playing. I've been calling for Matt Freese to get an opportunity. I'm thinking what we need is for Matt Turner to find a team and be the best version of Matt Turner in June of 2026. By the time we get there, right? Just be the best version, because in the end, you're still trying to bring in young guys that haven't ever played with a national team a year before the World Cup, a year before a home World Cup, which adds a little bit more pressure to the group. But I'm guessing that we will see. Here's my early guess on the goalkeeping situation for these 2 exhibitions. We're going to see Matt Turner in one game, and we're going to see Matt Freese in another game.
All right.
And I don't know which order, Jimmy. I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah, I'm curious as to how this all plays out. Area of concern is how we're marking the goalkeeper position. And so hopefully one of them really takes it with both hands, or maybe there's a really healthy competition moving forward, but that's what we need. Look at you getting to the end of the video. All right. Very proud of you. Now, if you want more average to good content, this is your channel. Go look at other videos, playlists. We have it all figured out. For more of the good stuff, then you got to make sure you hit like on this video, hit subscribe so you don't miss anything, and then turn on your notifications so you know when we're going live or if anything drops right when it comes out. We'd really appreciate it. See you next time.